Take a look at this. Nest has finally come out with a camera that is battery powered. But where was this thing 3-4 years ago? Yeah, they've ditched the cord and added some cool new features, but it's still a 1080p camera. We're going to be taking a look at what those features are that are included with this camera, take a look at the video quality, and we'll even take a look at some shots comparing this camera to the previous Nest Cam IQ. So stay tuned. The Nest Cam indoor-outdoor camera is finally here and we get to test it out. It does come with a built-in battery inside, so we can place this thing anywhere. We don't need to be tied to an outlet. Inside the box comes a USB power cable, but how this thing plugs in is very strange to me. For some reason, the angle of the power cable juts out towards the front of the camera. I don't understand it at all. I don't know who developed this thing, why you would want a cable shooting out away from the wall. Why not just reverse it? And let me just tell you, you can't reverse it. If I try to reverse this thing, it does not seat in and line up with the pins inside. So it is pretty frustrating to look at this power cable being plugged in. Seems like a very poor design choice. In addition to the power cable, we also have a magnetic mount. So you're going to screw the base plate wherever you want to put this thing, screw on the magnetic mount, and then you can place the camera wherever you want to. It is really nice and easy. It has an extremely strong magnet built into the base, which allows the camera to stick without any worries of falling off. Okay, now before we get started, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos like this one. And with that said, let's get started and take a look at what comes in the box. All right, we've got all of the basics in the box here. We've got our camera itself. We've got a getting started guide. We've got the mount that if you want to mount it to the house. We've got our screws and anchors back here. We've got our power cable, and this is going to be a USB power cable, and then we've got our brick here. If you want this to have an actual weatherproof plug on the other side, you're gonna have to buy the outdoor power cable. But let's take a closer look at the camera. So this is the 1080p camera. We've got the mount on the back. This is magnetic, and this is a super strong magnet, but connects right there. If we take a look at the back, I believe this is going to be a reset button back here. So we've got the reset button underneath. We've got a 1/4-20 mount. We've got a speaker, and then we've got the charging port under here. Take a look at the rest of it. That is all that there is. So we've got that on the bottom. On the front here, we've got the 1080p camera itself, 2 megapixel camera. We've got a status light, and then we've also got the microphone right there. Now, when I was taking a look at the back of the box here, one thing that I noticed is that this now says we have a 2 megapixel sensor built into this camera, and it is a 1080p camera. Now, that's quite a disappointment for a camera coming out in 2021, especially since stats like this came out, I don't know, 3-4 years ago. 2 megapixels, 1080p camera. Now, if we take a look at the previous version to this, so the Nest Outdoor IQ, that had a 4K sensor, even though it did shoot in 1080p, and it had an 8 megapixel camera. So now we've seemed to gone backwards. Now this one has a 2 megapixel camera. We'll go ahead and a little bit later, I'll put both of these next to each other so you can see the difference between these two. Now, I understand with this camera right here is that it is a battery powered camera. They can't have this thing just be full-blown hardcore. It's not plugged in all the time. Now, granted, you can have it plugged in all the time, and if you do plan on using the 24/7 recording, it has to be plugged in. So you can't get 24/7 recording with this, even if you have the subscription, unless this thing is plugged in. So do keep that in mind. Now, some other cool features that you're gonna get with this camera is that it's gonna come with 3 free hours of recording. So you don't have to have a subscription to use this camera, which is a nice little perk, but 3 hours really isn't that much. If something happens in the middle of the night, say somebody breaks into your car, or maybe you notice something got stolen out of your yard in the middle of the night, just something that you are not able to view that footage within the first 3 hours and save it to your phone, you're kind of screwed. So it would be nice if there was at least 24 hours of recording on there just in case you need to go back, but you are gonna have to pay for their subscription. Now, their subscription can be a little expensive if you're just gonna do one camera. For one camera, or as many cameras as you want, their cheapest plan is $6 a month. And that's gonna include anywhere from one camera to unlimited number of cameras. And that's gonna give you 30 days of event-based recording. Now, if you want to pony up a little bit more, double that to $12 a month. That is going to get you 60 days of event-based recording and it's going to give you 10 days of 24/7 recording. So just in case whatever happened might have been outside of the motion sensor of this camera, it didn't pick it up, something happened, you could have 24/7 of recording off of these cameras, which is a great feature and something that I would definitely recommend doing. $12 for 24/7 recording on as many cameras as you have is just a fantastic deal. Now, in addition to that, this camera can process everything on the actual camera itself. It's not sending it up to the cloud and then processing and bringing it back down. It's going to actually be processing it on the camera. So it's going to give you some cool features like human detection, animal detection, vehicle detection. That's all going to be processed on the camera itself. So like with most of these DIY security cameras, setting it up is super easy to do. Instead of using the native Nest app, you're actually going to be using the Google Home app. So everything is going to be set up through there. It was really easy to do. I just followed all of the on-screen instructions. It walked me through everything that I needed to do, and then we were all set up. So another cool feature with these cameras is that they have familiar face detection. But to get the most out of that feature, they recommend mounting the camera about 6 to 6.5 feet above the ground. I don't know about you, but that's within arm's reach of somebody grabbing it, which I'm not too thrilled about. I mounted mine up on the eaves of my house, which is about 9 feet. So unless somebody looks up at the camera, it's not really going to tell me who it is. But what it will do is that I'll get a notification saying a person was detected. Now, if by chance that person does look up at the camera, I might be able to pick up who it is. So I have had the family in the backyard, and sometimes I'll get a notification that one of the girls was detected, or my wife or myself, which is a pretty cool feature. But if you are going to be mounting this up a little bit higher out of reach, then unless somebody looks up at the camera, you might not be able to tell. Now, with the recommendation of having the camera about 6.5 feet, if you want to take advantage of that familiar face detection, you can pick up an anti-theft mount. Now, this is going to be from WasherSign, but you can purchase it on the Google website. I've worked with WasherSign in the past. In fact, they're one of the first companies that I ever worked with on this channel, and I really like their stuff. Okay, enough talking about the features of the cameras. Let's take a look at some demos of what this camera can do. All right, we are testing out both of these cameras right now. It's a beautiful sunny day outside, about 10 feet away, and this is what it looks and sounds like. I'm gonna back all the way up. Gonna get to be about 20-25 feet away. Let you guys listen to what it sounds like. Whoa, from that far back. I'm about 25 feet away from the camera right now, but that is what it looks and sounds like on a nice, bright, sunny day. Let's take a look now at what this camera is going to look like in the evening. Okay, now let's jump over to an evening demo, and I want to actually do a side-by-side comparison, comparing this new Nest camera to the old Nest IQ. Now, keep in mind, we're comparing both 1080p cameras. The Nest IQ is a 4K sensor and is an 8 megapixel sensor, where the new one is only a 1080p sensor and is actually only a 2 megapixel. So let's see a comparison of these two cameras next to each other. All right, so it is finally evening. The sun is setting. We got some good shade back here. I want to show you guys what these cameras look like when it's not blaring sun in my eyes right here. So here is the shot from about 10 feet away from the cameras right now. I'm gonna walk all the way back up before so you guys can listen to me and just see what it looks like from a little bit further away. So I'm about 25 feet all the way back here, and let's go ahead and get up a little bit closer. So now I'm about 15 feet away from both of these cameras right here. What do you guys think? Okay, it is dark out here. I can barely see anything, but hopefully you guys can see me okay. Back to being about 10 feet away. This is what the camera looks like at nighttime. I'll take a step back and we'll walk back up to it. All right, that's what the camera looks like. Camera is about 9 feet right now, just to give you guys some perspective of the camera. But this is what the night shots look like. Wow, oh my goodness. I am actually blown away at the quality that this camera is producing right here. Considering it is only a 2 megapixel camera and shooting at 1080p, comparing it to the predecessor, I mean, granted that one's a little bit older, but that one also had a 4K sensor and was also twice as much as this. I think that one was like $350, $400. This thing is $180, and I gotta say, I am so impressed with what this is producing right here. The colors were amazing with it. I thought the quality was really good with it. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Now, there are a couple things that I still am not a big fan of with this thing. For one, there is no built-in spotlight. I feel like most cameras these days that are coming out at least have a built-in spotlight in this. I know it's their first battery-powered one, but I would like to see a built-in spotlight on this guy right here. Also, I did not like that power cable. The power cable sticking out of this thing pointed forward, just I don't get it. It's so weird to me. But all in all, I really do like this camera. Oh, one other thing that I wanted to mention too is with the anti-theft mount. This also does have a 1/4-20 mount on the bottom, so you can use other types of mount too. If you don't want to use the magnet mount and you want to use something that's a little bit more secure, so it doesn't just pull off, you actually have to screw it on. You can get just a standard 1/4-20 mount and mount this on using essentially any kind of mount out there. Well, all in all, I have to say that I'm really impressed with the quality this thing is producing. But what do you guys think? Is this something that you are going to be picking up, or is there another camera that you like more? Let me know in the comments below. If this video was helpful, give it a thumbs up. Let me know that you liked it. As always, don't forget to subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you in my next video.